And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Wednesday, September 14th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories right here can also be found at our websites at IndianCountryNews.com or IndianCountryTV.com. And here are some of the news stories for the day. There is a unity ride to help stop the second largest quarry in Canada, which is departing on Saturday, September 17th at 10:30 a.m. from the Peace Valley Ranch. That's 638135 Prince of Wales Road in Shelburne, Ontario, Canada. The lands were bought by Highland Companies by a Boston multi-billion-dollar hedge fund that plans a mega mine 200 feet below the water table, and that process may destroy thousands of acres of farmlands in the region. The Ontario government has called for an environmental assessment, but Native people are calling for a clear, transparent consultation with First Nations and the farming community that has lived and farmed this soil since time memorial before the sacred lands are destroyed forever. The mine is proposed at the headwaters of 7 major rivers and subwatersheds, including the Great Grand River, Pine, Nottawasaga, Saugeen, Noisy, Bone, and the Mad River. People can enjoy the Unity Ride by car or on foot, or you can call the cell number 647-522-2754 for more information, or contact Grey Eagle at grayeagle0@simpanticoca.ca. Look at it right up here, or online at dannybeaton.ca. I think you get some information there as well. The Sequoyah National Research Center at the University of Arkansas Little Rock invites proposals for its 2012 Research Fellowship Program, which fosters research involving forms of Native expression in a wide range of disciplines. The program encourages scholars and artists to conduct research in the American Native Press Archives and the Dr. J.W. Wiggins Collection of Native American Art to support significant studies in a wide range of fields and subjects such as Indian removal from the Southeast, Native journalism and journalists, late 20th century and early 21st century tribal societies, and economics. Literary artists, visual arts and artists, art history, entertainment, and all kinds of other stuff there. They got a huge library of records that they've collected in the last couple of decades. Fellowships are intended to defray travel costs and living expenses while recipients are conducting research in the SNRC facility. Recipients are expected to spend at least a week conducting research at the center. 6 fellowships will be offered in 2012, and pre-proposal letters of inquiry are welcome and can be sent to Dan Littlefield. That's D. Littlefield at ualt.edu as well. That email's right there where you can look at it. Tribal Financial Advisors, Inc. has announced that Rick Hill, who served from 2008 to 2011 as chairman of the Oneida Tribe of Wisconsin, has joined TFA on a full-time basis and will serve as chairman of the TFA Tribal Boards of Advisors. TFA created the Tribal Board of Advisors to further solidify its position as the premier source for tribal finance, as well as to expand its relationship across Indian country. Hill has a long-standing career of serving in leadership capacities for his tribe and elsewhere. At age 23, he became the youngest ever tribal council member for the Oneida Tribe of Wisconsin. Following a variety of positions with the Oneida Nation, Hill was elected tribal chairman in 1990, a position he held for a 3-year term of office, during which time tribal resources tripled and the tribe signed its first gaming compact with the state of Wisconsin. Hill was elected tribal chairman there for a second 3-year term in 2008 and served that out a total of 13 years in the Oneida Tribal government in one position or another. Hill works out of his office in Oneida, Wisconsin, and can be reached at 310-341-2332 or by email at rhill@tribaladvisors.com. And as well, that email is on the board there for you to look at. Summer 2011 was a big one for the Cheyenne River Youth Project in Eagle Butte, South Dakota. The past 3 months saw an explosion in wellness programming at the 23-year-old not-for-profit youth organization's Koketa Wishoni Teen Center. And as summer slips toward fall, the momentum shows no sign of stopping. Quote, "We had a great summer," unquote, acknowledged Julie Garou, CRYP's executive director. We're always tried to get the kids moving, and midnight basketball was one of our longest running and most popular summer programs, but we knew we needed to offer more diverse activities. And now with our wellness department in full swing, it doesn't matter if a child isn't interested in basketball, he or she has a full range of sports from which to choose. One highlight of this season was a formal ballet class for the younger children conducted by long-term volunteer Elizabeth Lilly Kroll, a long-term volunteer from Michigan. Kroll raised all the funds and supplies necessary for the class. To learn more about the Cheyenne River Youth Project and its programs, and for information about making donations and volunteering and all that stuff, you can call 605-964-8200 or visit the website lakotayouth.org. And there that URL is again. Eastern Cherokee, Southern Iroquois, and United Tribes of South Carolina have officially opened its call for entries accepting submissions of independently produced film and video. Feature-length and short-length films, documentaries, experimental, student religious, spiritual, animation, comedy, horror, sci-fi, and all kinds of genres of music videos for the 14th Annual Native American Film and Video Festival of the Southwest. That deadline is coming up October 20th of next month. This community-based event aims to present the richness and variety of Native American cinematic expressions as independent filmmakers share their unique dreams and concerns as well as those of their varied communities through the art of moving image. The organizers of the festivals want to enhance awareness in Native American Indian talent and provide exposure of the arts, independent Native American cinema, media, and other motion picture industries to the southeastern United States. This unique film festival, the only Native festival of its kind in the southeastern section of the United States or country, draws independent filmmakers. Primarily, the festival is a time to educate folks about contemporary Native American issues, Native theme documentaries, and to discuss film and video library and the power it has to tell Native stories by Native people and to entertain. The festival presents a series of films that are American Indian produced, directed, and or starring Native American people. Entry forms can be attained by writing or calling ESSIU at nativetalent6@aol.com or at 803-699-0446. Again, all that information is there on the board for a little while. You can rewind and take a look at it. The California State Assembly recognized a Morongo Band of Mission Indians Vice Chairwoman Marianne Andreas and 3 other tribal leaders for their individual contributions to promoting and preserving California Native American history and culture. Their honor came as part of the passage of ACR 72, a resolution introduced by Assemblyman Luis A. Alijo, a Democrat from Salinas, and co-authored by 67 Assembly members that declared November as Native American Heritage Month there in that state. ACR 72 recognizes that despite enduring tremendous hardships, California Native Americans have persevered to make vital continuing contributions to the strength and diversity of society in areas such as law, medicine, business, education, and the United States Armed Forces. Assemblyman Alijo presented individual resolutions to Andreas, Chairman James Ramos of the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians, Chairman Mark Macaro of the Pachanga Band, and Vice Chairwoman Nancy Ayala of the Picun Ranchera of Chicchunsi Indians. Andreas was recognized for advancing the views of Native American on local, state, and federal levels of the government. Grand Chief Derek Nipinok of the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs expressed concern earlier this month regarding First Nations children displaced by flooding and their access to a safe and quality educational environment. Our students have a right to set personal goals and reach benchmarks of achievement in a safe and supportive community school environment. This right is commonly referred to as the treaty right to education, he said. It may be several weeks before children from the Lake St. Martin are able to return to school. This is compounded by the fact that those same children were not able to complete their education due to this year's spring flooding as well. Chief Adrian Sinclair of the Lake St. Martin First Nation has requested that the AMC support the First Nations as they implement an emergency response to provide for their children's educational needs. Grand Chief Nippanak stressed the rights of children are paramount. He stated, the guiding principles relating to decisions regarding the educational needs of children should reflect international standards as outlined in the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of the Child. He said the children of Lake St. Martin have suffered trauma over the past few months in having to leave their homes, having to leave their community, and having to leave their school. It is time for everyone to work together and come to some kind of solution to ensure that the safety and educational needs of those children are being met. The Center for Native American Youth will join Dirk Whitebreast on his 262-mile run by participating in a marathon relay with youth from the Ho-Chunk Nation and the nation's president, John Greendeer. In addition, the center will speak at the Ho-Chunk Nation's Community Action Plan on Suicide Prevention Dinner and other activities coming up at an event. The center has partnered with Dirk Whitebreast, a 31-year-old tribal leader from the Sac and Fox tribe of the Mississippi and Iowa, to support his efforts to raise awareness of youth suicide prevention, health promotion, and emotional healing in Indian country. In 2003, Dirk suffered the tragic loss of his 18-year-old sister, Darcy Jo Kiana, to suicide. Since that day, Dirk has committed himself to a healthier lifestyle, becoming an avid runner as well as a leader in his community by serving on the tribal council. Dirk was touched by the center's mission to improve the lives of Native youth in its efforts to raise awareness of the tragedy of suicide in Indian country, where suicide rates are nearly 4 times the national average. This is why Dirk reached out to the center and wants the organization to benefit from Dirk's 262-mile run. Dirk will be traveling to Appleton, Wisconsin on September 18th for his second race at the Community First Fox Cities Marathon. To support Dirk's efforts, the Ho-Chunk Youth Council and the Wittenberg Youth and Learning Center organized 2 5-person relay teams for the same marathon. Josie Raffalito, the center's program coordinator, will be running alongside Ho-Chunk Nation youth and community members in support of Dirk and the Ho-Chunk Nation Youth Council. Following the race, Dirk and the center will speak at the Ho-Chunk Nation's Community Action on Suicide Prevention event to introduce the center's work and share Dirk's inspirational story of healing, motivation, and success as a young tribal leader. So I think if you can go to those Wittenberg site, you should be able to find more information about that presentation. The list of marathons Dirk is registered for is as follows. If you want to keep track of that, that's the North Face Endurance Challenge, Madison, Wisconsin, on September 17th. I guess that run is actually in Eagle, Wisconsin, was what it says here. Community First Fox Cities Marathon in Appleton, Wisconsin, one we noted, September 18th. The American Birkenbeiner Trail Run in Hayward, Wisconsin on September 24th. The Quad Cities Marathon in Malone, Illinois on September 25th. Freedom's Run Marathon in Shepherdstown, WV, it says, or October 1st. I don't think that's Wisconsin. I think that's West Virginia. Milwaukee Lakefront Marathon, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, October 2nd. Prairie State Marathon in Libertyville, Illinois on October 8th. Bank of America Chicago Marathon in Chicago on October 9th. Waddell and Reed Kansas City Marathon, Kansas City, Missouri on October 15th. And the IMT Des Moines Marathon in Des Moines, Iowa on October 16th. And for more information about the Center for Native American Youth and its outreach in Indian Country, look down at the bottom here to visit cnay.org. And that is going to be another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. And we want to thank you for joining with us, and you come back again soon. Miigwech.